everybody, what is up? My name is AsterKatt, and welcome back to Zero Escape 999. Oh boy, this should be our last episode. I'm so not ready emotionally, physically, mentally, any of that. So, yeah, I said that I would go over some of my theories, which honestly, I don't really have a ton. I'm still working everything out. I am the most suspicious, as I mentioned, of Santa and June right now. Leaning towards Santa, but June is still not off the hook for being the one behind this all. I would be very surprised if it was anyone other than the two of them. So yeah, I've got my eye on those two, and that's about it. I'm still suspicious about Santa being 3 and June being 9. I feel like we're making a lot of assumptions here. And I keep continually returning to the question of, if June was number 9, then that means the 9th man didn't have the number 9 bracelet. And then that means maybe, you know, I've never had this up, but maybe there are 2 number 9 bracelets since there are 2 number 9 doors. Maybe that's how that works. I'm not sure. And then June, but even if that was the case, the other issue I have is Miss Guy X. I don't remember his actual name. I don't care to remember his actual name. Did he also have a number 2 bracelet? Because how did Ace kill him otherwise is another question I have. So I'm not really sure. I'm wondering, another one of my biggest questions is, why is Junpei here? Every single other person seems to have a connection somehow. Between, you know, Ace obviously being the person to make the thing. Snake was part of the Nonary project 9 years ago. Santa was probably part of the Nonary project 9 years ago. Potentially Zero. And we know that he had a sister who died probably in the Nonary project 9 years ago. Probably June. Maybe. Clover was part of the Nonary project 9 years ago. Junpei knew June in school. June might be Santa's dead sister. Not really sure how that works, considering she seems very much alive. I'm wondering if it has to do with her fevers. I'm wondering if she is just straight up dead. Not sure. 7 was the policemen investigating the kids kidnapped for the Nonary project. Lotus had daughters involved in the Nonary project, and the 9th man was one of the creators of the Nonary project. So everybody was involved in the Nonary project except for Junpei. So I'm not sure why he's here. So that's just a thought. Anyways, upon, while I was editing, first of all, I apologize if I seemed like I was rushing through some stuff. I was so focused on what I was doing that some of the moments like went right over my head, because I was like, oh, that's not a solution to the puzzle. The pipe thing, I've been dying over constantly. Give me a P, give me an I, give me a P and an E. What does that spell? Pipe. Hilarious. Peak humor. And then some of Junpei's commentary is just astoundingly amazing. Another thing is, I didn't really catch it in the moment, but Clover seems to have developed a little crush on Junpei, and I think it's the cutest and funniest thing. Like, girl, be so for real. We are in a life or death situation right now, but it's really sweet, and I also think it's really funny that Junpei is Mr. Oblivious, and obviously didn't notice a thing. So, anyways, sorry the camera angle is a bit weird. I don't have a bookshelf here anymore because my sister moved out and I have lots more room, so sorry if it's awkward. I wish I hadn't changed it like the day before the last video, but we're working with what we got. Also, sorry my mic cut out a couple times last time. I accidentally bumped the cord. I've moved the cord so that I will no longer bump it. That is enough talking. Oh, another thing that people were mentioning that I kind of figured was the Gansfield experiment is the one that Lotus told us about. And the only reason Junpei, apparently, if we hadn't done that ending, Junpei wouldn't have known. And so I think that's another really fascinating thing. I have literally no idea why he's remembering things. I'm assuming it has something to do with all the concepts we've been talking about. I almost said teleportation. Teleportation is not. Telepathy. That's what it is. Yeah. Realization began to dawn on Junpei along with a pressing question.
How do you know all this?
Come on, man, I told you, I finally got my memory back.
No, that's not what I mean. I'm trying to ask you why you knew all this stuff in the first place, before you forgot it.
Yeah. 7 rubbed the scar on his chin.
You really want to know?
Of course.
Me too.
Snake was the only one who didn't voice any sort of agreement. Looked to Junpei as if he was simply waiting to see where 7's sudden recovery might take them.
This is gonna take a while. Hell, it'll probably take me a good 3 days to tell you everything.
Well, we don't have 3 days.
Just give us the short version, all right?
Short version, huh?
The big man pulled off his hat and scratched his head. He made a face and put his hat back
All
on.
right, fine. I'll give it a shot. No promises, though.
Junpei and Clover nodded earnestly.
I'm a detective. It's a little awkward to say this about myself, but you could probably consider me a lone wolf type. I
Okay.
hold to my own code, because I think doing what's right is more important than doing what you're told.
Cool.
That's why I followed my gut that night. A slim lead brought me to the wharf. It was 9 years ago. The wharf had been cold as fuck, and I could barely see squat.
Sorry. It throws me off every time.
I was investigating a mess of kidnappings, all of them children.
Horrible. Disgusting.
It all had one thing in common. A history of visits to one particular hospital. A hospital under the management of Cradle Pharmaceuticals.
Why? Maybe the accident? I was wondering, like, why Clover and Snake would have been in the hospital.
My investigation had turned up evidence that Cradle had been involved in the kidnappings. After a little sweet talking, I managed to finally get a real lead from someone inside Cradle. My source told me this.
Tonight, a ship is set to take the children to a large passenger liner docked offshore.
So I headed to the wharf. From the shadows, I searched the harbor until I found the ship he was talking about. There was a bunch of movement near it. Men in black suits, many of them were carrying large bags. The bags. There was something about the way they moved as they were carried, no doubt about it. There were human beings in those bags. I
Disgusting.
moved before I realized it. I came out of hiding with my gun already in my hand.
Don't move.
I felt metal touch the back of my head.
Drop the gun. I could kill you right now. It'd be easy to get away with it, too.
Is that the ninth man? Voice seems very familiar.
Just tie an anchor to your feet, and no one would find you for a week. That what you want? The fish here would love a meal.
I kept digging the cold metal thing into my skull. There was nothing I could do. I did what he said and laid my gun on the ground. Then suddenly, there was a sharp pain in my neck. A needle.
A drug?
That was my last thought. My face hit cold concrete. I was out like a light after that. I woke up on a hard floor. Damn it. Shit, my head hurts. I did a quick once-over of the room. Where am I? A small, shabby bed, a dirty sink, a toilet with no privacy. I'd seen it countless times as a cop. I'm in a cell, huh? Facing the toilet was a door set into the wall. I was still pretty woozy, but I made my way over to it. I pushed and pulled on it, but...
Yeah.
It won't open. Not like I expected much else. Would be dumb enough to put me in a cell and leave it unlocked. Threw myself against the door a few times, but it wouldn't budge. I knew it. I gave up and made my way back to the bed, and sat down. Huh. I sat there for a very, very long time. Who knows how long. Then, I heard a faint voice.
It's the ninth door.
The voice was far away. I couldn't understand what it was saying, but I could hear one. It was pretty high, probably a little kid. Huh? No, it was several. I hear 5 or 6, maybe more. Where? Where are they coming from? I pressed my ear to the wall and tried to listen through it. No, that's not it. Left. It's coming from under the bed? I hauled on the metal frame and flipped the thing over. And there it was. The bed had hidden an air vent under it. The hole in the wall was covered by a metal grate.
Sorry, I'm trying to listen in.
I dropped flat on the floor and peered through the grate. I couldn't see shit, but I knew it in my gut. This was where those voices were coming from. Hold up. Why are there kids here? But then what my inside man told me popped into my head.
Tonight, a ship is set to take the children to a large passenger liner docked offshore.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Am I on that ship?
Yup.
It didn't matter. All I knew was I had to get to those kids. I checked out the metal grate. Could I fit? I stuck my fingers in and grabbed it. And then...
Okay.
Yeah! How do you like that, you son of a bitch? I finally got the damn thing off. Sweat was dripping down my face, so I wiped it off and crawled inside. The first bit or so was tight. I had a wriggle on my belly. It wind up eventually, and there was space for me to crawl along on my hands and knees. I went from crawling like a worm in dirt to skittering like a bug. Couldn't say it was much better, but I'd take what I could.
I was going to say, a lot of that was similar, but I think we're getting
When
some
I'd
different
been in the
territory.
thing long enough to start wondering where it'd take me, a massive sound nearly scared the piss out of me. It was like a heavy metal door had just been slammed shut.
One of the number doors?
Then there was a voice.
Oh, no, no, no.
What? I wasn't sure what it meant, but anything with incinerator is bad news. Then, almost as if that was a cue, I heard a mess of young-sounding voices. A bunch of them were straight up screaming in terror, and all the sounds together made a howl that made the hair on my neck stand
Oh my
straight
god.
up. Damn it! What the hell is going on here? I scrambled through the duct as fast as I could. I made a giant racket, but I didn't care at that point. I soon found a metal door on the left side of the duct. The kids were screaming on the other side. I found it. I yanked the handle and threw the door open. I almost ripped the metal off its hinges. What the hell is this place? I couldn't believe what I saw. The room had a dome up top, and there had to be about 9 walls, all the same size. Up in the ceiling was an upside-down funnel, almost like a chimney. I looked down. There they were, the kids I'd been searching for.
Oh. Oh, they're babies. Is that Santa and June? And is that one of Lotus's daughters and Snake?
They all gawked up at me, suddenly silent, for the moment, from surprise and fear. Scared of the room or me, I couldn't tell. Probably both, actually. Not like I can blame them running into a mug like this when they're already scared shitless. I snorted at my own dig at myself and turned to the kids. Don't worry, kids, I'm not your enemy. I'm one of the good guys. All of them stood there, frozen. Well, except one. He was a boy, slightly older than the others, in a private school uniform.
I'm gonna squish him. I cannot believe that Ace would do this to them.
Who the hell are you?
His little voice, Santa. And you're telling me this was the boy who was true, who would go out and like save up all his money to buy presents for his sister?
He stepped forward and glared at me suspiciously. I'm a detective. I'm here to rescue you. It looked like they relaxed some the second I got the words out.
How are you gonna help us?
Where's the exit?
There isn't one. The doors we came in through won't open, and the door over there...
He kind of cut himself off. I think he was considering something before he changed his mind.
Anyway, there's no point. We can't all get out of here. If we don't get out of here, we're gonna be burned to death.
Burned to death?
Can't you hear it? That voice said the incinerator's gonna start up soon. So...
This is so
He
messed
spoke
up.
again.
Incineration will begin in 15 minutes.
They only had 15 minutes. I looked back down at the kids. Looks like a good 20 or 30 feet to the floor. No way I could pull them up. Too big of a distance for any of us to reach. What the hell was I gonna do? But then I got an idea. Wait right there. I'm gonna be right back.
What? Where is he going?
Oh,
Are you just gonna leave us here?
whose voices? I think I heard Clover in there.
They just got frightened again. I'm not the best at that kind of thing, but I tried to reassure them with a smile. Don't worry, all right? I'll be back, I promise. So just stay calm and wait right there. Got it? I didn't wait to hear them respond. There wasn't time.
Oh, I'm so anxious.
I had to hurry. Well, as fast as a guy could on his hands and knees. Didn't take me long to get back to my cell. Still no way out of there, but I had a plan. I needed something from the room. When I got it, I dove back into the hole and took off towards the incinerator. Then... Sorry to keep you waiting, guys. I tipped out the doorway and dropped down the rope I brought with me. Back in the cell, I'd torn the bed sheets into strips and tied them together to make a rope. It was sloppy, but it got the job done. All right, just tie that around yourself, okay? I'll pull you up one at a time.
Right.
Huh. Wait a sec. Something was off. There were more of you before. Where'd the rest of you go? The boy in the uniform answered.
I let them go on ahead. We opened the number 9 door and they left.
Oh.
What? You're telling me you opened that door?
That's what I said.
Then what the hell are you doing here?
We couldn't go with them.
Why not?
Look, the only people who can go through the numbered door...
He was in the middle of explaining when...
How long?
Incineration will begin in 5 minutes.
Okay.
The wall shook a bit from the voice bouncing around.
Look, that can wait, all right? Just get us out of here!
Right! I grabbed onto the rope.
Tiny little Jew. She's so small. God, anything like this is so hard because I have younger siblings and I am a martial arts instructor, so I work with a lot of kids. And so like generally knowing how old they are allows me to kind of compare them to like the ages of my siblings or my students. And oh my god.
First one I pulled up was a girl with a ponytail. Next was a girl with a red necktie. A boy in a jacket came after. He said he'd climb up on his own. The boy in the uniform was the last up. Like the other kid, he climbed up the rope himself. He looked pretty scrawny, but I guess he was stronger than he looked.
Yeah.
He moved fast, but when he was almost to me, we heard some knocking. Everyone looked at the door. It had a thick, square window set into it. On the other side, an angry face was staring in.
God damn it! What's going on here? Why is the room empty? Where the hell are those fucking kids?
The door opened, and a man stepped in looking half mad with fury. I recognized his face. I saw him many times in photos during my investigation. The man's name was Gintaro Hongo, the CEO of Cradle Pharmaceuticals.
I hate you so much.
Hongo saw the boy hanging from the rope. Yeah! It was like he was an animal. He lunged for the rope. Hurry!
I know!
The boy in the uniform booked it up the rope.
You son of a bitch! Get back here, you little shit!
15 feet. 10. The second I could reach the kid, I grabbed him. I hauled him up and tossed him into the duct behind me.
No!
Hongo had lost it. His face didn't even look human. It was like the bastard pulled off his fake face. He was really a terrifying devil or some kind of damn monster.
It's so hard for me to see. I
quickly reeled in the rope, leaving a furious Hongo yelling at me from the floor.
You fucking bastard! You won't get away with this! How dare you compromise this experiment!
Experiment? What experiment?
Incineration will begin in 1 minute.
Hey, old man! What the hell are you doing? Hurry up!
The boy in the uniform was trying to get my attention. I may have thrown a salute in the raging asshole's face before I closed the door behind me.
Go 7!
No point to going back to the cell, so we went down the other direction instead. After about 30 feet, we came across another duct on the left. This one was heading down. Everybody nodded and took turns sliding down it. The duct emptied us out into a narrow hallway. There was a door on either side. The one on the left was a normal double door, but the one on the right was familiar. It had black and yellow stripes, and a device next to it on the wall. A plate on it read, incinerator. Incinerator?
I'm so scared.
That's where we were.
It was the girl with the red tie.
That was June.
We were inside an incinerator?
Yeah. Hongo might still be there. It looks like it's been shut off, though.
Wait, what? If he's still in there...
Yeah. That's not good.
That's not good.
That meant we better. We gotta get out of here. Go to the other door, hurry! The kids started running, and I was close on their heels. On the other side of the door was a large spiral staircase. Run! Didn't need to tell them twice. We went up and up and up. Our feet pounded the steps, our arms pumping fast. We went round and round and round like the devil was on our tail. The stairway kept going. We passed a couple of landings when the boy in uniform suddenly spoke.
Oh, I'm being blessed with art! Oh my god!
Oh, something's up. Akane's not catching up to us.
Watch Akane!
Hey?
My kid sister. The girl with the red necktie.
Why was I right? Why was I right? I didn't want to be right! Oh.
Akane. That's strange. I didn't remember seeing that name on the list of missing kids.
Hey! Akane!
He kept his hands around his mouth and yelled.
Nobody answered
Maybe
me.
we outran her.
The boy in the uniform skidded to a stop. I stopped too, and so did the other two kids. When did we do that?
Well, we passed a couple big rooms on the way here. Maybe she took a rest in one of them?
No, that's impossible.
Sorry, Grandpa. You keep going. I gotta go look for her downstairs.
He turned to go.
Hey, kid, wait! God damn it, I said wait!
I don't think the kid even heard me. Fuck! I spun around to the boy in the jacket, a girl with a ponytail.
I'm going after him. You two keep going, all right? You got it?
The girl nodded and ran up the stairs. But the boy...
I'm going with you.
I'm gonna die. I'm going to die.
I didn't have time to argue. I just nodded and took off down the stairs. I could hear him following me. We ran all the way to the bottom floor, calling for her. Akane was nowhere to be found.
God damn it, where the hell did she go?
I could tell the kid was frustrated, and then suddenly...
Help me! Somebody help me!
I swear to God, Ace, if you're involved in this.
we heard a girl's voice.
Akane!
The boy in the uniform threw open the door and leapt into the hallway by the incinerator. We rushed in after him. I couldn't for the life of me believe what we were seeing. That bastard Hongo had Akane by the arm and was forcing her into the incinerator.
Is she number 5? I hate him so much. I want you to die. So many deaths.
Come on, goddammit, move!
No, I don't want to! Let me go, please! Let go of me!
She planted her feet squarely on the floor and was struggling to get away. But Hongo was bigger and stronger. She wasn't gonna win.
Akane!
My brother roared with anger and charged toward Hongo.
Help me!
Ah! You're too late, idiot!
Oh!
Hongo lifted Akane bodily into the air and threw her, still fighting him, into the incinerator.
What the hell?
Before we could even blink, Hongo had leapt through the door after her. We saw him land inside. And then, the door slammed shut. We ran to the door. We did everything we could think of to get the thing open. But
Fuck! It's no use! The goddamn thing won't move an inch!
he started slamming his fists against the door. He was close to shattering his knuckles with how hard he pounded on it.
Akane! Akane! Are you okay?
You came back!
Her voice was muffled, but all of us could hear the sheer terror in it.
What should I do? I think I'm trapped in here!
Where's Hongo?
He went out the other door!
What?
Warning. Warning. Emergency incineration command has been acknowledged. Automatic incineration will take place in 18 minutes.
No. Like, it was bad enough that I thought that they were just going to burn her. 18 minutes?
Please evacuate the incinerator immediately. Repeat. Emergency incineration command has been acknowledged.
Are you fucking kidding me? It's the same damn thing!
Are you there?
Yeah, we're here. Just hang on, all right? We're gonna figure out.
His words would have seemed like a sick joke to her if she'd been able to see how white and bloodless his face was right then.
Incineration will begin in 17 minutes.
Please! Please help me! I'm really scared! I don't want to die, please! I don't want to die! I don't want to die!
It's gonna be all right. I'll figure something out. I promise. I promise, okay? You hear me? I promise.
It was torture listening to her sobbing on the other side of the door. Her brother was nearly crying himself. He could only stand there, fists clenched so tight his knuckles were white.
I'm gonna die. I hate this game so much. It's the worst game I've ever played. I mean that extremely positively. It was silent. All I could hear was the creaking of the boat as it shifted in the water. They waited and waited. Seven didn't continue.
What happened then?
Junpei couldn't wait any longer. He had to know. Seven looked at the floor.
Come on, man. Put yourself in my shoes. It doesn't end good. You think I want to remember that?
Then...
Yeah. Shit. If I'd known it was gonna be like this, I almost wish I hadn't remembered.
Seven shook his head. There's something Junpei had to know.
Are you sure?
Huh?
Look, I don't want to ask this either, but there's something I don't get. So if you could just tell me, did that girl, Akane, really...
Seven stared straight ahead at nothing.
Yeah, I'm sure. There wasn't anything we could do. After a while, the countdown ended, and we heard something... burning. The fire stopped, but we still didn't move. Me and the jacket kid were frozen. The boy in the uniform collapsed as if he couldn't hold himself up anymore.
I'm gonna die. I'm gonna kill this game. But I set the game on fire.
A few minutes passed. The door opened. The boy in the uniform tripped over his own feet running in. We followed, too numb to speak. The air in the incinerator was hot. Every breath made my lungs feel like they were on fire. It was like standing on hot asphalt. The air was wavering, and in the middle of the room, there it lay. The kid's legs were shaking so bad, I don't know how he managed to walk. I couldn't see his face, but his body somehow looked empty.
You would have had nothing left.
Finally, he reached it. He fell to his knees as his legs gave out on him. And then...
They didn't have to show me! Okay, thanks. Thanks. Junpei felt a cold lump in the pit of his stomach. A feeling of sickening anticipation washed over him. He could feel his body shivering. He desperately did not want to know the answer. He feared he knew already, but he had to ask. He had to know for sure.
Can I ask you one more thing?
What's that?
The girl, Akane. What was her last name?
What does it matter to you?
Just tell me, okay? Please?
Seven looked at Junpei curiously and ran his tongue quickly over his dry lips.
Kurashiki. Her name was Akane Kurashiki.
Joy! Oh, I'm Something inside of Junpei stopped. He had no more words left. He had no more Junpei left. I'm sorry. It's not funny at all. He had no more Junpei left. He was just a shell of flesh and bone. Seven turned to Snake.
You were there that day, weren't you? The tall kid in the jacket. That was you, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. You are correct, Detective.
Junpei's mind was blank, withdrawn from the world. Somewhere far away, he could hear Seven and Snake talking.
Don't misunderstand me. I told you before how Zero threatened me. There was nothing I could do. I couldn't say anything about what happened 9 years ago.
So you're saying you're not working for Zero, right?
Of course not.
Clover, what about you?
Hey, come on! You really think I'm working with Zero? I told you before, you idiot! I was in Nevada, in Building Q. I did hear that a detective rescued the kids on the boat, but I didn't know it was you.
Her surprise seemed to be genuine. Seven regarded Clover for a moment and rubbed his chin thoughtfully.
Well, I guess I believe you.
Clover nodded.
All right, let me ask you another question.
He stuck his hands into his pockets and took a few steps. Then he stopped and turned to face them again.
Santa's real name is Aoi Kurashiki. He's Akane's brother. You know that?
No, I didn't. Did you?
Well, yes. I know Aoi Kurashiki was her brother. But I didn't know he was Santa. At least not from the beginning. 9 years ago, he was in the middle of puberty. His voice is entirely different now. I'm ashamed to say that even my exceptional hearing wasn't able to make that connection. As such, I had no reason to think Santa was Aoi.
When did you figure it out?
Clover told me that Santa might have been one of the subjects of the initial experiment. It was only a short while ago, while we were leaving the library. When she told me that, I had a feeling.
Santa is Aoi? Akane Kurashiki, June's brother?
Oh, sorry, I was so like, because I was processed that before. Junpei's processing that now. That spark caught flame in Junpei's leaden mind and the fog began to clear. Like an engine beginning to turn, images and thoughts began to coalesce in his mind, coming faster and faster, forming bigger images, bigger thoughts. Junpei blinked. He was back.
There's still a lot we don't know. I mean, like a lot. But there is one thing I think we can say we know.
What's that?
The body we found in the shower room. It had to be Nijisaki, dressed up to look like Snake.
What?
Come on, man, what kind of detective are you? You didn't figure that out already?
Hey, go easy on me, man. I just got my memory back, all right? Cut me some slack.
Well, if he is, the 3 murders make sense then, don't they? Yeah, that's right. Murder. Kubota blew himself up, but that was murder too. So why did these murders take place?
If Junpei is correct, and the body in the shower room was Nijisaki's, that means all of the people who were murdered were involved with the creation of the Nonary project.
Oh, I was.
Kubota,
I could
the
not.
person who conducted the actual experiment.
Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt. I could not remember who the third person was, so I was like, I got the shower room, I got the 9th man, and I couldn't remember. I forgot Cap again.
Nijisaki, Hongo's assistant. Musashido, the man who financed the project.
You mean this was all just revenge? Santa is Zero. He's getting revenge for the death of his sister. That's why he killed them.
No, I don't think Santa actually murdered anyone.
In fact, Junpei didn't think he knew. He couldn't explain why or how, but he had no doubt that Santa had killed no one. Perhaps the madness the last several hours was finally driving him insane, but Junpei ceased to be surprised at his sudden knowledge and even begun to accept
If
it.
I'm right, then it's not hard to figure out who the next victim's gonna be, is it? I'm pretty sure I don't have to tell you.
Yes.
Yep.
Right.
Snake, Clover, and Seven all nodded.
The next target will be Gentaro Hongo.
The person who planned the Nonary project.
In other words, Ace.
There was a moment of silence.
What?
And then the room shook. From far away, they heard the sudden rush of water.
What the hell's going on here?
Water!
It must be 6 a.m. Our time is up.
Shit!
Come on, we need to get out of here.
How?
In the drawer that held the picture was a keycard. Junpei grabbed it.
I'm betting this sucker opens the exit. Come on, let's go.
Great! Keycard 0. Keycard with a 0 in the middle of it. 0. 0. God damn it, Zero's just screwing with us, isn't he? Maybe. Where's the door? Don't need to search this. Okay. I don't remember where the door is. Just a pipe. Don't really think we need to worry about pipes at the moment. Ventilation fans. Can't go through them. Awesome. 3 pipes. Cabinet. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. It would be over here. Awesome. Swipe the card. Open. Cool. Junpei, look! It's unlocked! Yeah! Now we can go back to the library. Hurry up, Junpei. We don't have time. Let's go! Alright, let's go! You found it. Yay! Oh! Seek a way out again. Gained all memories of escape. The door opened. They stumbled into the library.
Huh. I think the shaking stopped.
It would seem so, but we are yet to be out of danger.
You're right. Let's hurry.
They ran across the hallway.
This exit needs the Uranus card, too.
Straight for the large metal door. Next to the door was the Uranus card reader.
Hey, Junpei.
Yeah, I know.
They slid the key card through and the door rumbled open.
All right, it's open. Let's go.
Out of the library and into the hallway they ran. At the end of the hallway was a door. Junpei reached into his pocket to pull out the key as he ran toward it.
Okay, Neptune key. Let's see if you work.
He turned it.
Yes! I think it unlocked.
The lock clicked. As one, they shoved the door open and poured through it. In front of them was another great metal door. Above it was a metal plaque.
It says incinerator. So this is the incinerator.
This is the first time I've seen it from this side, but yeah, I think so.
Then there ought to be a lever near the door.
Yeah, right here.
Junpei ran up to it.
Pull that and the door should open.
Got it.
As he spoke, he pulled the lever. I'm scared. The motor in the door groaned as it slowly ground open. There was no time to waste. As soon as the door opened far enough to admit them, all 4 dashed through. And suddenly, before them, there were the 4 they'd parted from earlier. Hi, guys. Ace and Lotus stood in front of the number 9 door. Are you good? Santa was curled into a ball against the wall of the incinerator, holding his stomach. Then there was June. She sat slumped against the wall, exhausted.
What the hell is going on?
Junpei ran toward June. He skidded to a stop in front of her and knelt
What's
down.
wrong? Are you okay?
Her face was pale and her lips dry. When she spoke, he could barely hear her.
Jumpy, you came to get me.
Of course I did. I made a promise.
I'm so glad you're here. So glad.
She mumbled the same words over and over weakly. Junpei could feel his heart breaking.
What happened to you?
I'm fine. I just fainted. I wasn't feeling very good. I'm feeling a lot better now, though.
Are you sure?
Yes. I just need to rest a little longer. I'm sure I'll be fine. You shouldn't worry about me.
She was looking towards Santa. Junpei turned to look as well.
Santa.
Santa grimaced, his face contorted in pain. Seven grabbed him by the collar and roared.
Hey, where is it? Where's the gun? You hide it somewhere?
Despite himself, a grunt of pain escaped Santa's lips as Seven shook him.
I don't have it. I got sucker punched and they took the gun.
What? Who took it?
What? Isn't that obvious?
I took the gun.
Yeah, why are we... It's fine, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Oh boy, we're right back here. He did indeed have the revolver in his hand. It was pressed against Lotus's temple. Ace had her pinned to him with the other arm, and she was shaking visibly. Her fiery attitude was gone, replaced by fear. She didn't dare speak. There was sweat on her forehead, and when her eyes weren't flicking up to the gun pressed against her, they seemed to desperately want to say something.
Just what the hell do you think you're doing, Ace? Or maybe I ought to say Gentaro Hongo, CEO of Cradle Pharmaceuticals?
Seven's deep baritone rumble shook the walls. Ace sneered.
You have me at a disadvantage. And I don't like that. You know me, but I don't know you. Do you have any idea how much I've suffered? Can you even begin to understand my pain?
No, and I don't want to.
The pain of prosopagnosia, right?
Junpei's voice was casual. At least it was trying to be.
Another irritating insect. And how do you know that?
Good question.
Junpei couldn't say, he just knew. Another unexplainable mystery.
No matter. If you don't want to answer, it makes no difference to me. This is a waste of time anyway. It's time for me to go.
Behind Ace, Junpei could see the red. It was placed in the small indentation on the wall. Quickly, Ace placed his hand on the scanner.
First is 1. Give me your hand.
It beeped, and he forced Lotus's hand onto it as well.
8. And with this...
Then at last, he reached into his pocket of his jacket. He pulled something out and pressed it against the panel. Third asterisk appeared on the red.
9.
The thing he had used for the final verification was the bracelet with the number 9.
The 9th man. Kubota's bracelet.
I believe I've won this game.
His smirk made Junpei's blood
I've
boil.
had quite a time playing with you. I must thank Zero, I suppose.
Wait, what? Ace doesn't know who Zero is.
Junpei's eyes flicked towards Santa. He hadn't moved since they'd entered the room. Santa was still holding his stomach and groaning as if in immense pain. Junpei wasn't sure if it was real pain, but he wasn't sure it wasn't either.
What the hell are you planning, Santa?
At any rate, this game ends now. I will escape, and the rest of you will have a slightly less pleasant ending.
Really?
I suggest you enjoy your final moments. Goodbye.
How are we? Ace, of course, paid no heed to Seven's request and laid hold of the lever on the red. With a sickening sense of finality, he pulled it. Yeah.
What? Why isn't it opening? One more time.
Lotus tried to take advantage of Ace's confusion and managed to twist herself out of his grasp, but... the last second, he grabbed hold of her wrist and shoved it onto the red.
Now open!
He waved the number 9 bracelet over the red and then his own bracelet as well. He pulled the lever a second time.
No! What is this? Why? That digital root should be 9! It has to be 9! Then why? Why isn't it opening?
Ace's fury and confusion had overridden all other thoughts. He'd set down the revolver. It was just below the red.
Now!
Seven chose that moment to act. He moved far faster than the man of his bulk should have been able to, and he launched that bulk straight at Ace. It was over before they knew it. In the blink of an eye, Ace was on the floor. He rolled onto his side, groaning in pain. Deserved! Lotus ran straight for Junpei. She darted around behind him and stuck her hat out, making sure to keep Junpei between herself and Ace.
Oh, that was close. Too close. Thank you, Seven.
Don't mention it.
Seven stood over Ace, his breathing slow and heavy.
Just one punch ain't enough for this piece of shit. After what he did 9 years ago, I ought to rip him to pieces. But if a suspect can't talk, they ain't much good. Once he's locked up in a cell, we're gonna have a little chat.
9 years ago? Then you must be...
Yeah, you finally figured it out, dumbass.
Ace planted his hands on the floor and shook his head. Junpei walked toward him. He stopped and looked down at Ace with pity on his face.
Ace, you killed Kubota, Nijisaki, and Musashido, didn't you?
Wait, Nijisaki?
He peered at Junpei, genuinely confused.
Oh, right. You don't know yet. All right. We'll just go through them in order then. Let's start off with Kubota. You talked to Kubota and managed to convince him to go into door 5 alone. You killed him without making it look like you killed him. The way I figure it, you had 4 motives. 1. In the Nonary game, the number 9 is dangerous. Whoever had the 9 bracelet could join whatever team they wanted. Adding 9 to any number doesn't change the digital route. Which means that number 9 could do whatever they wanted. You wanted to remove that threat as soon as possible. 2. You wanted the number 9 bracelet for yourself, so that you could make use of its power. In fact, you did use it in the murder of Nijisaki. 3. Even if his number hadn't been 9, Kubota was a problem. He knew your past. He knew what had happened 9 years before. You needed to silence him before he told anyone. 4. But last, and perhaps the most disturbing, you used Kubota as a test. You wanted to know how serious this Nonary game was. Was it truly life or death, or simply a harmless prank? You convinced him to break the rules so you could see what would happen. That was why you killed Kubota. But he was only the first.
I love that he's just throwing his own reasoning back at him.
Next was Nijisaki. While everyone was off looking for the missing parts for the Reds, you ran into Nijisaki near the big hospital room. However, because of your prosopagnosia, you didn't realize he was Nijisaki, chiefly because, when you met him, he was dressed like Snake. That was why you thought Nijisaki was Snake.
No, that's not... That was Nijisaki? Why? How did...
I'll get to that. Anyway, you thought he was Snake. Snake was one of the kids in your experiment 9 years ago. You remembered him because he was the blind kid, but his presence made you think. Snake was one of my subjects 9 years ago. He probably hates me.
His impression.
But if that's true, why isn't he saying anything? Is he keeping quiet because he can't see? Or perhaps he's working with Zero to get revenge on me. Whatever the reason, anyone who knows my past is a threat. Before he tries anything, I need to get rid of him. That was when you decided you had to kill him. The murder weapon was Kubota's bracelet. You just waved it over the red. Verified your own number and then grabbed Nijisaki's arm and forced it over the scanner panel. Then, when the door opened, you kicked him in. 9 seconds later, the door closed. And then 81 seconds passed. And poor Nijisaki was dead.
That means that Nijisaki had a bomb in him.
Then you mean to say Snake is still alive?
Yep.
Sorry to disappoint you, but I'm as good as new. Thank you for killing the wrong man, but I can't say I like knowing that you wanted me dead. Although, to be honest, even if you hadn't tried to kill me, I would still hate you very much.
Well, I wouldn't blame you.
Good. Ace's self-derision was frustrating, but Junpei kept his emotions in check and continued.
Last but not least, let's talk about Musashido's death. When Clover and I were investigating the chart room, you came over to talk to me. Do you remember what you said?
Oh, a pocket watch. Might I take a look at it?
I handed it to you, and you left the room. You had been in charge of the Nonary project. Of course you would have known the solution to every puzzle, which would mean that you also knew how to get out of the wheelhouse. All you had to do was place the watch in the indentation on the door to unlock it. With the door open, you could enter the captain's quarters. Musashido was there. Conveniently placed next to him was an axe that practically begged you to kill him with it. You picked up that axe and buried the blade deep in the other man's chest.
Oh my god! Wow! I did not see that coming.
One blow was all it took, and then you returned to the chart room as if nothing had happened.
There was something I wanted to speak with you about, Junpei. Could you come with me for a moment?
I had no reason to say no, so I followed you to the wheelhouse. When we stepped inside, remember how you slipped your hand into my vest? You pulled out a piece of paper, the one I used to cheat during the vote. But that wasn't really what you were after. Your true purpose had been to slip the watch into my pocket. It wasn't a very good plan. Had way too many holes, and someone saying the wrong thing could have brought it all down around you. You must have been desperate. But what made you willing to risk it all to do it? Ace.
That was the only thing Junpei hadn't been able to figure out.
Musashido's murder is the only one I don't understand. You obviously did it. But why?
Because of this.
Slowly, Ace reached down and pulled something out of his pocket. It's a folded piece of
What's
paper.
with the paper?
Just read it.
Junpei took it and opened
Let's
it.
see.
This is what it said.
Number 1. There are 2 ways you might survive this ordeal. The first is to win the Nonary Game. The second is for you to confess your sins of 9 years past. I have prepared a camera in the captain's quarters. The images captured by that camera will be streamed through a satellite and distributed across the world. Simply look into the camera and repent. Once you have confessed everything, I will release you from this ship. To make your confession more credible, I have left you a witness in the captain's quarters. Perhaps he will confess with you. The decision is yours. Do as you please. Zero.
When I awoke in that room on D-Deck, I found that in my pocket. That was why I chose door 1 when we voted. If I went through that door, I knew I could get to the captain's quarters. As you said, I knew how to enter the wheelhouse. My plan was to find the pocket watch before anyone else. If I could, then my alibi would be set. At least, that was the plan. Unfortunately for me, you got to it first. That sleight of hand was the best I could manage on short notice.
You meant to kill him from the beginning then? Musashido, I mean.
I only knew Musashido was the witness after I reached the captain's quarters. I asked him, and he answered. He seemed groggy. Perhaps he had only just awoken from sedation. I suppose Nijisaki was in much the same state. He seemed confused and disoriented when I encountered him. But yes, you are correct. I intended to kill him from the beginning, even though I didn't know who he was. I proceeded to the captain's quarters in order to remove this so-called witness.
Ace had confessed everything. What energy he had left him with the truth, and he sagged on his knees. Although he had confessed, his sins were not forgiven. Junpei felt revulsion for the pathetic man on the floor near his feet. Jacob! Sorry. But in among the revulsion was a hint of pity. After all, Ace had not been the only person who murdered those 3 men. Junpei spoke quietly.
Ace, you figured it out, haven't you? You were being manipulated.
Yes, so it would seem. I was little more than a puppet. In many ways. Everywhere I went, everything was already prepared. The Reds in the large hospital room were dismantled. Nijisaki was dressed like Snake. There was an axe in the captain's quarters. Musashido was delirious from the anesthetic, so he couldn't fight back. Nijisaki as well. In retrospect, I can't understand how I could have fallen into such a simple trap. But yes, this was a trap. It was Zero's trap. And I fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. I did everything he wanted me to do.
Yeah. By manipulating you, Zero was able to kill 3 people and keep the blood off his own hands. All of this was revenge for what happened 9 years ago. That's why this Nonary Game happened. Am I right, Santa?
Junpei looked over at Santa. Junpei spoke, he stood up, his legs still shaky.
Huh? What the hell are you talking about? I don't know any...
Ain't no point trying to play dumb anymore, Santa. Actually, I guess I should call you Aoi Kurashiki, huh?
Seven's face was sad as he spoke.
My memory came back to me, kid. You're Aoi Kurashiki, no doubt about it. Never thought I'd be back in this room talking to you. But hey, I guess this was all part of your plan, right? After all, the person who planned the Nonary Game this time around was Zero. And Zero's you.
Looks like you really do have your memories back, huh?
Santa's smile was sarcastic and something else.
Well, I guess there's no point in hiding it then, huh? Yeah, you got me. I'm Aoi Kurashiki. I was one of the kids in the Nonary Game 9 years ago. I made it out. So did Snake over there. But there's one thing... No, I guess there's 2 things you got wrong.
You're not Zero, are you?
Number 1, I ain't Zero.
What?
Wait, what?
Sure, I was helping Zero out, but I'm really more of an assistant, like a secretary. But an assistant's only an assistant. I didn't come up with all this. All I did was follow Zero's orders.
Then, if you're not Zero, who is?
Calm down there, Junpei. Didn't I say 2 things? You made one more mistake. Junpei, you just said all of this was revenge for what happened 9 years ago. That's why this Nonary game happened. But that's not it. Revenge isn't the only purpose. There's another reason you guys were playing the Nonary game. To save someone.
Save someone?
Right. You were brought here to help my sister, to save Akane.
What the hell are you talking about? Akane Kurashiki died 9 years ago in this room. I was there. I saw...
Suddenly, Seven froze. His eyes went as wide as dinner plates and he spun around toward June. Junpei followed his gaze.
What?
She was gone. Where June had been, there was nothing.
Hell? Where is she? Where's Akane Kurashiki?
Seven began to mumble to himself, a strange series of words strung together as if his mind wasn't functioning properly. His face was twisted with effort, as though he were struggling with something they couldn't see. He gritted his teeth and pressed his hands against the side of his head.
Oh, my head! My head, it feels like it's gonna pop.
Seven! What the hell is going on?
Poor Lotus.
I don't know, I just... Oh, I swear to God, my head feels like it's about to explode!
From somewhere far away, they all heard a deep, heavy noise. It sounded like a tremendous wheel slowly beginning to turn. Santa seemed to have entered an almost trance-like state. His words were calm and measured.
What was the Nonary Project? I'm sure you know already, but I'll tell you one more time. It was a project designed to test a particular phenomenon. And what was that phenomenon? For 2 organisms to communicate with one another in the absence of physical contact. The morphogenetic field theory. Could human beings use these invisible fields to exchange information? That was what this experiment was conducted to determine. There were 2 separate locations. One was the Gigantic, and the other was a building in Nevada called Building Q. The 9 children trapped in Building Q were faced with numerous puzzles, copies of identical ones on the Gigantic. They were told to send their answers into the morphic field set and transmit them to their brothers and sisters on the Gigantic. The transmitters were put in Building Q, and the receivers were put on the Gigantic. Each sibling pair was supposed to be split up, but...
Oh, yeah! Wait, that's weird!
But there was a mistake. Akane was a transmitter.
Ooh.
She should have been in Building Q. However, for some reason, she was placed on the Gigantic with the receivers, like me. Perhaps she was mistaken for someone who was supposed to be in Group A. Whatever the case, Akane ended up on the Gigantic. I think I've told you enough. You get it, don't you? I'm pretty sure you know where this is going, Junpei.
Where what is going?
Don't play dumb. You know things you shouldn't. Things you couldn't. How did you know Ace had prosopagnosia? How did you know why Ace wanted to kill Kubota and how Nijisaki was killed? Were you surprised when you found out Ace was Hongo? And what about the coffin Snake was trapped in? How the hell did you open it?
Well, that's...
The answer to that is easy. He knew because I knew. Junpei was receiving information that I sent to him through the morphic field set. Simple, really. How do I know the alternate futures, then? Okay. Okay. Imagine a river that splits in 2 like an upside-down Y. The river flows from the top to the bottom from a single stream into 2 branches. It only flows in one direction. It can never flow backward. Information is the same way. It moves from the past to the future, but never flows backward. That's why people at the river's source in the past will never know about those downstream in the future. But the people downstream will never know about one another either. Information only flows along the path of the river. But I am different. I can manipulate the morphic field set to pluck knowledge from the future. I know what happens on either fork of the river, even though the people on either fork know nothing about one another. Now, who am I? I am I, the 9th letter of the alphabet. But I'm also 0. No, that's not true. I'm not really 0. Not yet. Perhaps you could say I am less than 0. 0 is my future. In 9 years, I will be 0. What the heck? Where did she go? June. No, Akane. Where did you go?
Santa!
Why is Clover? Oh shit.
Freeze.
Santa's got the gun. Guess he picked it up when we weren't watching. Looks like he's turned the tables on Ace though. Wonder how he likes having a gun to his head.
Get up.
Wait. Sure isn't about to take that gun off him for a minute, is he? Ace isn't putting up any kind of fight. I mean, I don't think I would either. But he just looks drained. Guess he's going for the door, huh? He doesn't need to verify to go through that door, but...
Hey, what's your plan, Santa? What are you doing?
He can't get through any numbered doors with just 2 people. What the hell is he thinking?
Didn't I tell you? I'm Santa Claus. It's time for me to go make a wish come true.
That's it? That's all he's gonna give us? What the hell does that even mean? Shit, they're out! And now the gate's shut. Looks like the rest of us are stuck in here. They're all looking at me. A7's headache is gone. He seems to be alright. Guess there's no harm in trying. Let's see if this door still opens.
Damn. Well, it looks like this door isn't opening anytime soon.
Lotus and June are the only 2 who haven't spoken.
Oh, you mean we're trapped?
Okay.
So it would seem.
What the hell is Santa trying to do?
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, what?
Have you considered where we are? There can really only be one thing Santa would do now.
No. No, you can't be serious.
Oh, but he is. Shit, we've got to do something. Maybe we can still get out through door number 9. There's the red. Yeah, alright, we can do this. I've just gotta... It's not gonna work. There's no way. 5 of us can't open this door. What is happening? The 5 of us? Junpei, Clover, Snake, Lotus, and 7. Santa and Ace just went through the door. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then June is a question mark. What is happening? 2, Snake, 4, Clover, 5, Junpei, 7, 8. Is there any combination that'll work?
Junpei, can I borrow your pen and notebook?
Sure, why not? I don't think I'm going to need... Oh, so we are Junpei's. Well, I don't think I'm going to need them ever again. She certainly looks purposeful. So she's writing equations, a lot of them. Oh man, she doesn't look very happy. What? Hey, no need to be ripping pages out like that. Jeez.
What the hell are you doing, Clover? Give me that!
Alright, at least 7 got it away from her. Maybe now I can get a look at what she was writing. Let's see.
What?
And there's no other way?
Lotus. Looks like she'd figured it out, though. Man, this is just too cruel.
It's okay. Go.
No!
Lotus.
Come on, you know we can't do that.
Oh, don't give me that. I'm sure you'd love to get rid of me.
God damn it, you idiot!
Whoa, where the hell did that come from? Looks like she expected that about as much as I did.
Without, if you're not... Look, it'd be bad, alright?
For a cop, he sure doesn't have much confidence.
Yeah. If there weren't assholes like you around, I'd be out of a job.
Uh-huh.
Look, I'm just not leaving you behind, alright? End of story.
7.
He's right. I'm not leaving you either.
Me too.
You didn't honestly think I'd abandon you, did you?
You're all idiots.
Act as tough as you want, Lotus. We can all see you're about to cry.
That being said, however, I doubt we would be able to open the door anyway, even if we were to leave Lotus behind.
Huh? Why?
I trust you remember what happened to Ace? I couldn't, see exactly what happened, but I was able to guess what he was attempting to do earlier at the Red.
Oh, yeah.
No! What is this? Why? The digital route should be 9! It has to be 9! Then why? Why isn't it opening?
Just to see, why don't we give it a shot?
Give it a shot.
Yes, that is what I said.
You were right.
It ain't opening.
But it did open 9 years ago. The digital route was 9 then, I'm sure of it.
You think maybe they changed the settings?
I'm so confused.
Perhaps.
Shit. If we can't get through the door, we can't get out. I think I'm not used to being forced into adventure mode, so I'm not used to hearing Junpei's thoughts this way. The walls are way too high. There's no way in hell we could get to that hole 7 popped out of 9 years ago. All we can do is stand here and stare at this door with a 9 on it. Yes, this is it. This is the end. Akane vision. I was watching. I had watched everything that was reflected in his eyes. I was listening. Every sound that vibrated in his eardrums I heard. Smell, taste, touch. I felt everything he felt. I knew everything about him. What he was thinking, what he was feeling, what he was sensing. All of his feelings and worries and fears became mine. My mind, my consciousness was inside of him. Through the morphic field set we were resonant and we were as one. I was him, and at the same time I was an observer. It started with a tremendous noise like a clap of thunder. That was approximately 9 hours ago. A bomb had gone off in the ship we were on. That was when my resonance with him began. My resonant event melted into him and we became one, inside of Junpei. Somehow I found myself in Junpei's mind 9 years in the future. But I didn't lose myself. I was living in 2 realities at once. One was the present, and the other was the future. Perhaps you can think of it as 2 movies showing on the same screen at the same time. Eventually it becomes difficult to separate them and determine which movie is which. However, if I concentrated, I was able to focus on one or the other. It was why I was able to grasp what was happening in front of me.
Come on, over here!
Oh! Darlings! Look at them! That was my brother, Aoi. He was yelling. I followed him. Around me were 7 other children. They all looked like they were about my age.
Come on, hurry up!
We ran down a long straight hallway and burst into the large hospital room. Everyone was arguing. 2 of the boys got into a fist fight, a girl watching them begin to cry. I want to go home, she cried. I want to go home! Another girl slapped the crying girl and glared down at her. It had been 2 hours since the Nonary Game began. We were starting to fall apart. But just when all hope seemed lost, Light started talking. He was blind. 9 years later, we would call him Snake.
Hello? Everyone? Could you come over here for a moment?
He was older than most of us, and his voice had authority and dignity. The fights died down, and we gathered around him.
I have a little sister. She is very important to me. Right now, she is over in Building Q, and is desperately trying to send information over to me. Her name is Clover, and today is her 9th birthday.
Her name really is Clover! And it's her birthday! I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. As he spoke, he pulled something from his pocket. Oh. It's a little emo bag. In his hand were 4 9-leaf. That was not the right number. In his hand there were 9 4-leaf clovers.
I was going to give these to her as a birthday present. I was outside picking them when I was abducted. I'm sure I've already told you, but I am blind. For a man who can't see, collecting 9 of a very specific plant is, well, it is difficult. But my sister means a great deal to me, and I hope that these would show her how much I cared for her. Since it's her 9th birthday, I thought 9 4-leaf clovers would be appropriate.
Her name is Clover.
Every one of you has a brother or a sister in Building Q with Clover. For their sake, we have to survive. We have to get off this ship. Do you understand? If we're going to do that, there are 3 things you have to remember. We need trust and love, and we have to have faith in one another. If we can take all 3 of those to heart, then I promise that good luck will come our way. Did you know that the leaves on the 4-leaf clover mean faith, trust, love, and luck?
I hate this game.
Those words are leaf words.
Leaf words!
So if you believe what I've told you, and you understand, then I want you each to have one of these. They're a promise between friends.
He gave a clover to each of us. I took one too. Eventually, he was left with only a single 4-leaf clover. He had one last thing to say.
Don't ever forget, so long as you have that, we will always be connected. Do you understand?
When he finished, the tension of only a few minutes before was gone. We were calm. After that, we ran around the ship for a while longer and opened several of the numbered doors until we finally found a door with the number 9 on it. In fact, there were 2 doors with 9 on them, and we found them in the chapel. We split into 2 groups and walked through the doors. Before long, we all found ourselves in a room with a ceiling that looked like an upside-down funnel. For some reason, this room had another number 9. But this time, it was only the one. But if there's only one door, that meant only 5 people could escape.
What are we gonna do? There aren't any other doors.
We began to panic, and as if things had not gotten bad enough already.
Warning. Emergency incineration command has been acknowledged. Automatic incineration will take place in 18 minutes. Please evacuate the incinerator immediately. Repeat, emergency incineration command has been acknowledged.
What? What's happening? What did that thing say? That didn't sound good.
My brother Aoi swallowed hard and answered.
I think it means this room is gonna burn.
Burn!
The plaque on the door says incinerator, and that voice said that the incineration is about to start. And incinerate means to burn.
This is horrible.
No! Help me!
Abject terror filled the room as everyone began to scream and cry. Every pair of eyes were filled with despair. High up on the wall, a door opened and a man appeared. It was a huge, frightening mountain of a man. Mountain. As large as a bear. 9 years later, we would call him
Don't worry,
Seven.
kids. I'm not your enemy. I'm one of the good guys. I'm a detective. I'm here to rescue you.
The rest happened just like Seven had said it did. 4 of us who stayed behind were saved by Seven. We crawled through the vent away from the incinerator and slid down into the hall. We came out on the other side of door 9. On the wall opposite the door was a set of double doors. We went through those and began to run up the spiral stairs. As we ran, I led the way. Behind me were Nona, my brother Aoi, Snake, and Seven. The other children, the ones who'd gone through door 9 before us, were up ahead. I could hear them cheering each other on. We ran and ran and ran. We leapt across as many stairs as we could and kept running. The stairs spiraled upward like a tornado. Eventually I pulled ahead of the rest. Perhaps Nona had slowed them down. I didn't want to lose them, so I slowed down as well. I didn't stop, but I glanced over my shoulder from time to time to see if they had caught up. So
Oh no,
I realized...
where is it? Did I drop Jumpy's present?
I knew I'd had it with me when we passed through the vent. And had I dropped it as we slid out? I had to go back, I had to! But I knew I couldn't tell the others. It would stop me, I was sure of that. I didn't stop to think, I simply moved. I ran to the central hall of the room that connected all the other areas of the ship. I hid in the shadows, and moments later I felt a rush of wind as they ran past me up the staircase. I waited until they were out of sight, and then I ran. Moved as quietly as I could, down and down and down. Finally, I reached the bottom deck. I ran into the hallway and looked around frantically.
There it is!
It was just where I thought it would be, sitting under the opening of the vent. I ran over and snatched it from the floor, but as I ran back toward the stairs and freedom, door to the incinerator opened and a man stepped out. It was Hongo. Entaro Hongo. 9 years later, we would call him Ace.
Ah, how wonderful to see you decided to come back.
Oh my god, I hate everything about this. I will be right back. Okay, I have returned. It's time to continue the horrors. I had to eat dinner. Sorry for the really weird pause. I'm so scared, dude. I'm so scared.
Ah, how wonderful to see you decided to come back.
His smile made my blood run cold. It looked mechanical, as if someone had simply pulled up the corners of his mouth.
Come with me. We must continue the experiment.
I shook my head, eyes wide. Slowly, I began to walk backwards. 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps. Then I spun around and broke into a run. I felt Hongo's hand close over my left wrist.
I said, come with me.
There was an edge of insanity to his voice now. I pulled as hard as I could.
No! Stop! Let go of me! Let go!
I shook my body and flailed my arms, trying desperately to get Hongo to let go of me. I was still only a child. I was no match for a man like Hongo.
Stop struggling, goddammit! Do as I tell you!
He heaved on my arm, trying to pull me into the incinerator. I screamed.
Help me! Somebody help me!
Then suddenly,
Akane!
the door to the stairs flew open, and my brother Aoi burst out of it. Behind him came Seven and Snake.
Akane!
He cried my name again as he leapt towards Hongo.
You came back!
I cried out, but then
You're too late, idiot!
Hongo threw his full weight against my arm, pulling us both into the incinerator.
Ah!
The force of it threw me to the floor. I scrambled to my feet and looked toward the open number 9 door. Hongo stood between it and me, but behind him I could see my brother, his fists clenched. Those fists never reached Hongo. With the cold, heartless screech of metal on metal, the door slammed shut. Hongo glanced at me mechanically, his face registering that there was an object there, but not anything he would consider a human being. Then he turned away and walked to the red that sat next to the door. He reached into his pocket and removed 2 bracelets. He waved them both over the scanner panel. 2 asterisks appeared on the red. He checked the screen, then tossed the bracelets carelessly onto the floor. What was he doing? What was the point? He made no effort to explain himself, of course. He said nothing at all and walked past me as though I were nothing more than a rock by the roadside. A few moments later, 5. That would have to be 2 number 2 bracelets, which wouldn't work. Door slid shut as well. Faintly, I could hear someone pounding on the door behind me. I turned around and ran toward the door with the 9.
Akane! Akane! Are you okay?
I could hear a voice from the other side of the door. A worried, frightened voice.
Help me!
My throat was already raw, but I screamed as loud as I could. My voice echoed lonely around the empty room.
What should I do? I think I'm trapped in here!
Where's Hongo?
He went out the other door!
What?
Then it started again.
Warning. Warning. Emergency incineration command has been acknowledged. Incineration will begin in 18 minutes. Please evacuate the incinerator immediately.
Holy shit! Man, I knew what I was gonna say. I knew what I was gonna say, but that is one hell of a creepy voice.
It's starting.
Santa started the incinerator.
Fuck! Man, I never thought I'd hear that damn voice again after 9 years.
Why though?
What the hell? What the hell? What in God's name are you talking about?
Poor Lotus is so out of the loop.
It's 9 years this and 9 years that, and when it's not 9 years something, then you're talking about some sort of fucking experiments. You aren't making any sense.
I'm sorry, Lotus, but we really don't have time to explain it right now. I promise. I'll tell you everything once we get out of here.
But
Incineration will begin in 17 minutes.
you know what that means, right? Incinerate means burn. What kind of idiot do you think I am? I know what incinerate means. Well, god damn it. Okay, fine. I won't ask anything else. Talk about whatever you want. But you have to do something for me. 7, figure this out.
What? Why me?
Just shut up and stop this thing!
How the hell?
There has to be some sort of emergency shut-off button.
There isn't anything like that.
How the hell do you know?
Because I looked for it 9 years ago.
Yeah, Lotus isn't happy about that. Can't really blame her. Wait. Floor, it's moving! What is that? What else can I say about it?
What the hell is that?
What is that?
What else could I say? The floor opened and a machine rose up out of it. It looked like a computer. At least it kind of did. There was a monitor, a keyboard, and a cross-shaped device of some kind. Something about the machine scared me, but I forced myself to walk up to it. I was terrified. Tears poured down my face. I wiped them off, even as more took their place, and forced myself forward. Finally, I reached it. I looked at the screen. It was blank. Oh, baby. All I saw was my own frightened face staring back at me from the glass, drenched in tears. Oh my god, he looks so pretty. All I can see on the screen is a reflection of my own face. I'm looking kind of freaked out. I know I'm sweating like crazy, but seeing it kind of drives it home. Okay, Junpei, just calm down, alright? Everything's gonna be okay. Gah! Man, I wish that thing would just shut up.
Incineration will begin in 15 minutes.
Alright, back to this thing. If it's only showing up now, then it's gotta be important. What the hell am I supposed to do with it?
Hey, move!
Gah! Hey, we're all tense, lady. That doesn't mean you get to shove people around.
It's turned on. There's nothing on the screen, though. Oh, this is bad. This is really bad. If there's nothing on here, how are we supposed to do anything with it?
Sure, I'll just push buttons. I'm sure that'll... Oh, well, at least it's on now. It's on the screen, though.
What is this?
What's up?
Password?
It looks like some sort of puzzle.
Got a bunch of numbers and letters scattered across a 5x5 grid. Numbers range from 1 to 8.
Do you think that if we solve this puzzle,
the incinerator will stop? Yeah. Well, we can hope, right?
Alright, puzzle, how do you work? Now that goddamn voice again.
Incineration will begin in 13 minutes.
Oh! Shit, 13 minutes. Can we really do this? My heart feels like it's gonna pop. My heart was pounding like it was about to explode. I stared at the puzzle on the screen. I was sure I had to solve it somehow, but I had no idea how. My connection to Jumpy had been gone for a while. His mind was gone. I couldn't get any more information from him. I felt the seconds tick by as I stared at the screen, completely lost. My cheeks felt hot as tears poured over them. Then I heard a voice.
Hey, what are you doing?
It was muffled. I turned around. Pressed against the window in the entryway was a face, a frightening, evil face. It was Hongo. How long had he been watching me?
Don't know what to do.
He was yelling, but his voice was still muffled.
It's simple, really. But I suppose I might as well tell you. Just solve the puzzle on that machine.
His laughter was muffled by the door, but it still tore at my heart like the claws of a vicious monster. I bit my lip and glared at Hongo, struggling to hold back hot tears.
You're a terrible person! I hate you!
Oh my. How could you call a gentleman such as myself a terrible person? That's not very nice. I'm quite fair. I don't use tricks or play dirty. You see? I've even left you a way out.
A way out?
Didn't you hear me? All you have to do is solve that puzzle. Do that, and you can stop the incinerator.
what's the point of stopping it? You'll only capture me and make me do this all again. I'm not going to listen to you. If you're just going to throw me back in here, I might as well just die now.
My goodness, haven't you listened to anything I've said? I told you, I'm a fair man.
Huh?
If you solve the puzzle, the verification function of the red will in turn activate. If this experiment is to deliver valid results, there must be a chance of success. If you succeed, you will escape.
The verification function of the red?
And I remembered. Before Hongo left the room, he had scanned 2 bracelets into the red.
Ah, so you do remember. Right now there are 2 numbers in the red. The first is 1, and the second is 3. Say, Akane, what's your number?
I looked down at my left hand. Face on my bracelet showed a 5. 1 plus 3 plus 5 equals 9. I ran to the door with the 9 on it. I grabbed the red and put my hand against the scanner panel.
You really aren't one for listening, are you?
I hear Hongo's muffled voice from across the room.
I've already told you, didn't I? Once you solve the puzzle, the verification function of the red will activate. In other words, if you haven't solved the puzzle, you can't enter your number. What kind of fool are you?
Why are you doing this?
You could never understand. You don't know what it's like to spend every day surrounded by monkeys. Now start the experiment. Solve the puzzle.
I can't! I don't know how!
Of course you don't. Isn't that the point? You understand, don't you? Access the morphogenetic field and find the solution.
I can't!
Then you'll die. You'll burn alive.
She's supposed to be a transmitter!
It'll be quite hot in there in a few minutes. I imagine it will be very painful.
His horrible laugh echoed across the room, and even after his face disappeared from the window, I could hear it.
Incineration will begin in 10 minutes.
I was crying, great gulping sobs broken by hiccups that shook my body. I was terrified. I could feel my fear pressing down on me like a tremendous weight. Somehow I forced my shaking legs to carry me back to the device. I stared at the monitor.
I can't. I just can't. There's no way. I can't figure this out.
What was I going to do? I didn't know. I didn't even know where to start. Fear scattered my thoughts, and all I could think of was how I was going to die. My palms were sweating and my blood was boiling in my veins. It was hot, so hot. I couldn't breathe. I felt dizzy. My heart roared in my chest as if it would pound itself to pieces. Oh, I'm so nervous. I reached into my pocket. I'd wrapped my hand around the thing I'd come back to get. The doll Jumpy had given me. At least I had that. I held it tight with both hands and prayed.
Help me! Jumpy! Help me! Help me! Help me! Jumpy! 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 Please! Help me! Jumpy!
Akane?
Akane?
Who the hell is Akane?
Shut up! Just shut the hell up!
Seven and Lotus don't understand. I think Clover and Snake have an idea, though. Clover's looking at me. And I think Snake may have figured it out. No, it doesn't matter. They're in my way. Where'd she go? Maybe over here?
Akane! Akane! Can you hear me? Akane! Say something!
Fuck. Did something break our connection? I swear I just heard her. Shit.
Akane! Answer me! Akane!
Jumpy?
I spun around. I heard a voice. His voice. I looked around. He wasn't in the room, of course, but I'd heard it so clearly. Her little boots. She's so small. I'd heard it so clearly, like he was right there.
Jumpy!
I screamed as loud as I could.
Akane!
Jumpy!
That's her. She's there. Then that means
Akane! Akane!
Are you in an incinerator right now?
Yes, I am! How did you know?
I couldn't believe that he knew that. Now I understand what Santa meant.
There's only one way to help her. You were brought here to help my sister. To save Akane.
I think I get it now.
Incineration will begin in 7 minutes.
Jumpy, we don't have time!
As quick as I could, I told him that I had to solve the puzzle in order to stop the incinerator.
Got it!
And I do. I get everything now. At last, I finally understand what all of this means. I know why the Nonary Game was held today. I know why we were kidnapped and brought here. It's all for this moment. All of this was planned to lead to this one moment. Oh my god. This is insane! I can't believe it, but there's only one possible answer. Junis. Zerois. Akane Kurashiki. She recreated the history of the future that she had a glimpse of 9 years ago. She tried to save herself that way 9 years ago. No, she's trying to save herself right now! Means there's only one thing for me to do. Even if this is all some sort of insane plan, I will save her! I will save Akane Kurashiki. This is insane. I must save her, no matter what!
Incineration will begin in 6 minutes.
The voice reminded me of how much time I had left.
Yeah, I know. Just hang on, all right? I promise I'll get you out of there. I'm not gonna let you die. I promise. So don't worry, all right? Just give me a few minutes, okay?
Okay. Oh! My voice shook as I answered. It was hot in the room. I felt like my heart was on fire. 6 minutes or not, my heart burned with my feelings for God. You had— okay, sorry. 6 minutes or not, my heart burned with my feelings for him. Alright, time to get to work, Junpei. Is Snake talking to them about something? Whatever, it doesn't matter. Get out of my way!
Hey, what are you—
Just trust me, okay?
Sorry, Lotus, I didn't mean to snap, but there's a lot more at stake here than your pride. I'll apologize later, alright? Now let's have a look at this thing. We've got numbers all over this grid. I think the panels are out of order. So we just need to switch these out? Staring at it isn't going to accomplish anything. I'll just have to try it.
Just think of what I did all those times before. I'm gonna do this on my own, with my own mind. I'm gonna solve this problem.
Okay. I'm so scared. I'm so overwhelmed and so— oh my god. Okay. When I press hit, numbers appear on the other side of the grid. They're all single digits. Yeah, I know. This is a square at the bottom. Why does it stay blank when I press hint? Looks like I can turn them on and off. Some special meaning behind the two modes? What could it mean? Does that mean they're supposed to match all the numbers in the squares the same? Okay. When I switch out 3 with 5, the hint number increases by 2. The hint just adds the surrounding numbers. Okay. It displays what the adjacent yellow squares add up to. Okay. Okay. Each square only has a single digit. Digital roots? They're digital roots, then they'll always end up as 1 digit. Okay. Wait, which number did I have there? No, was it 3? Okay. I'm assuming I'm probably gonna want to make them all 9. Mm-hmm. Okay. But we need to do it. Okay, wait. Maybe, do we need to do it in the right order so that it spells password? P-A-S. W. Okay. Yes. Please enter password. Is it the order of the numbers? 5, 3, 7, 1, 8, 3, 6, no, 3, no. Password? Putting a password now then? Are there any hints? What am I supposed to put here? I don't know! Screen appeared after I solved the last puzzle. You think it was in that one? Can I go back? How do I go back? Puzzle, the answer ended up being password. After it was an extra space, the 9th square. Oh, wait, is it just... So the final question in 999, is that your final answer?
Yes, that's it. Akane, did you get it?
I didn't read the numbers that were on the bottom.
Yes, I did! I solved it! I mean, really, you solved it for me, but I copied everything you did! Now I just have to press enter!
Then what the hell are you waiting for? Push it!
Okay, I will!
I hit the enter key.
Emergency shutdown command has been confirmed. Incineration system has been disabled.
Jumpy! It worked! It worked! The incinerator shut down! It worked!
Tears rolled down my face as I cried out to him, but they were a very different sort of tears. A wonderful feeling of accomplishment and relief flooded my body. At the same time, what strength I'd had left disappeared and I collapsed to the floor. For a while, I just lay there laughing and crying and enjoying being alive. Every time I thought about him, I thought my heart would burst.
Whew.
I can't quite believe I did that. But I'm so glad, so glad. I feel like my heart's on fire. No, I don't have time to be thinking about that kind of shit. I need to tell Akane.
Sorry, but things are kind of busy over here. I'm gonna have to hang up now, okay?
I love him.
Oh, of course, that's fine.
I wiped the tears from my eyes and nodded vigorously even though I knew he couldn't see me. Then I looked over at the corner of the floor. There were the 2 bracelets Hongo had left behind.
Now.
I'm trying to decide. Was Ace's bracelet not one? Wait, no, but then how would that have made sense? Because Ace went through different doors. I don't know. Well, Seven and Lotus don't look particularly happy with me. Not a very nice look to give someone who just saved your lives, guys.
Junpei, are you...
Okay.
Shut it.
Right, okay, so maybe they have a reason to be pissed off. So what if I hadn't pressed the enter key yet? Alright, nothing holding me back now. Here goes. Wait.
Incineration will begin in 90 seconds.
It doesn't sound like it's stopping.
What the shit? Why isn't it stopping?
Okay, maybe I didn't hit the key hard enough. Just hit it again. And again. And again. Okay, that's not working either. The alarm's still going off. What the hell is going on? I've got all the right numbers in the right boxes. It's perfect. So why the fuck isn't this thing stopping?
Incineration will begin in 60 seconds.
Wait, of course! It's what the numbers that showed up after the puzzle mean. 2 plus 4 plus 5 plus 7 plus 8. 2 plus 4 plus 5 plus 7 plus 8. Snake, Clover, me, 7, and Lotus, then door 9. No, that's it! The number 9 of the door is into 9! It's not even a number!
It is hidden, but an exit can be found. Seek a way out. Seek a door that...
Holy shit, of course! They would just have to put the right number into the red and...
Incineration will begin in 30 seconds.
Run, guys! Get to the door! Run!
Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, don't have much time! Man, I sure hope they can just trust me on this one or we are all fucked! Alright, no time to explain, just go!
Verify your numbers on the red! Verify? Who?
What combination?
All of us! We all need to verify!
Why?
You really think this is a good time to ask questions? Just do it!
Hurry, 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 hurry!
Incineration will begin in 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Central gate has been opened. Incineration system has been disabled.
Oh my god! Oh, thank fucking Christ! No, no time to be happy, time to go!
Hurry! We've only got 9 seconds before the door closes! Go, go, go!
Come on, guys, move it! Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Junpei. Okay, they're all through. Move it, Junpei! Just in time! And there goes the door. No, don't come down yet, you're not done! We still gotta find the dead! Did we do it?
Shit. Looks like we made it, huh?
Man, that guy sure can laugh when he wants to. Looks like Clover and Lotus are totally out of energy. Snake is shaking his head wearily. I just want to take a nap.
Akane? Akane! Can you hear me? Akane!
I want to tell her we made it. I want to tell her how good I feel. But nothing. Door opened. Standing in front of it was my brother.
Akane!
Oi!
I cried his name even though my voice was almost gone from screaming and leapt into his arms. Oh!
Oi!
Girl, your watch still has the dead!
Akane!
I buried my face in his chest and cried again. I cried and cried and cried and cried. The steady thump of his heart in my ear made me feel like I was home. His beat was almost like a lullaby. I wrapped my arms around him as far as they would go and held him as tight as I could. Just to be there felt like a miracle. I hadn't felt the warmth of another human body in what had seemed like an eternity. I just wanted to stay there in his arms forever. But I couldn't. Well, when I passed through the door, my bracelets began the countdown to death. I looked away from him and looked around. The door had already closed. I spotted the dead only a short distance away. It took me only a moment to get to and scan all the bracelets. I left the ones Hongo had dropped on the scanner panel. That was it. I took a deep breath and looked around again. The huge detective who we'd call 7 in 9 years, and Snake, the blind boy, were looking at me. They seemed to have been utterly stunned by my sudden appearance. Their eyes were wide and their mouths hung open.
Right, let's get out of here. If we don't book it, we might run into Hongo again.
Aoi was right. It was time we got moving. The mention of Hongo seemed to jar 7 and Snake out of their surprise, and they nodded. We took off running up the spiraling stairs to freedom. Time for more running. If they can get us Out of here, no wonder we're running so hard. My heart's beating so hard I can barely hear. God, I can't wait to breathe real air again. 7 talking?
Hey, Junpei, can I ask you something?
What's up?
That door, the one with the 9 on it. Why'd it open?
Yeah, all 5 of us verified our numbers on the red. 2 plus 4 plus 5 plus 7 plus 8 is 26. That makes our digital route 8. It shouldn't have opened.
That's not like you, Lotus. I thought you would have figured it out already.
Huh? Why?
Because you were the person who taught me about the idea of bases.
Bases?
Yeah. What are the 2 numbers in base 2?
0 and 1.
How about base 10?
That goes from 0 to 9, right?
Then how about base 16?
0 through F. After 9, it starts at A and goes from there. B, C, D, etc.
I was gonna say, is it?
You're right. In other words, A in base 16 is 10 in base 10. B is 11, C is 12, D is 13, and so on.
So, what about it?
You don't get it? What if we keep going with that pattern? What if you go way past base 16 all the way to base 27?
Base 27?
Yeah.
Well, the numerical digits are the same, so I guess you'd add alphabetical digits. E is 14, F is 15, G is 16.
H is 17, I is 18, J is 19.
K is 20, L is 21, M is 22.
N is 23, O is 24, P is 25.
Yeah, and? What comes after that?
It's a freaking Q? I'm gonna kill this game. I'm gonna kill this game.
Oh.
Q.
26.
And what does that mean?
That wasn't a 9 on the door.
It was a Q. A fucking lowercase Q.
That is almost the exact message. Well, okay, that is not the exact message. I'll show you the message I just sent my friend.
Yep, that's pretty much it. I guess to put it another way, you could say that it was a 9 in base 10, but a Q in base 27.
Time for more running. God, my thighs are killing me. I swear, any moment now I'm gonna tear a muscle. I feel like every single cell in my body is dying for air. Oh. Damn, every breath I take is a chore now. I feel like my lungs are gonna burst. Maybe just a short rest. No, can't stop. Don't have time. Come on, legs. There can't be many more of these steps left. Let's run. Run like a bullet down a rifled barrel. Like a tornado cutting through a sea of clouds. I feel like we're running along the back of a giant coiled dragon. Finally.
Whew.
Jesus, I can barely breathe. No, Junpei, no time to rest. Pull yourself together, you're almost there.
All right, I'm gonna open it.
Yeah.
Yes, we're finally here.
It doesn't
Please
feel.
do.
I'm so scared. Sure, you look like a big heavy door. But you're the only thing standing between me and my freedom. But even more important thing than that, you're the only thing standing between me and Akane. You're gonna open and you're gonna open now! I felt a hand on my shoulder. It was Aoi's. He gave it a small reassuring squeeze. I was so happy, I felt like I could melt. My heart was at peace, and not only because my brother and I were back together again. Thanks to the huge detective, all 9 of us who had been kidnapped. We're finally able to escape from the gigantic. Look at everything. You look at this snake rowing. I'm so. On the distant horizon, we could see the faint outline of the ship as it sank. It gave a thunderous roar as it finally slipped beneath the waves. Its last cry echoed out across the ocean, and then it was gone. Aoi whispered.
Yeah.
It was over. It was finally over. Or was it? Was it really? No, that was wrong. That wasn't it at all. I was sure of it. This wasn't the end. This was only the beginning. This was only a prologue to what would happen in 9 years. Yes, finally, air! I'm gonna kill him! I'm gonna kill him! I'm gonna kill him! I'm gonna kill him! His cuteness is too much for this earth! He is the cutest thing ever. I am so glad I made the decision episode 1 that he was my favorite, because that has not changed. That will never change. I am a Junpei guy through and through. Yeah. Damn, that sun is bright. I can barely see anything. I gotta admit, this doesn't look quite like... Wait.
No way.
You have gotta be shitting me.
What?
It can't be.
This is...
This is the building in the Nevada desert.
We weren't on a ship?!
the mock experiment building.
Oh my god. This whole time we were in building Q.
I should have seen that coming, but I didn't at all! Sure enough, that's a desert out there with mountains all around it. Hello there, sun. Boy, am I ever glad to see you. I don't think I've ever been so happy to see a sunrise. Huh? Did I just hear something fall? Our bracelets! Right, our bracelets. I guess I've never really got a good look at the underside of one of these. Let's see what's inside you. There's a little electronic chip, like in an ATM card. That's it. There's nothing else. Nothing that even looks like a detonator. There was never a detonator to begin with. Figures.
Akane.
Jumpy.
Guess I must be pretty crazy about the girl if I think I'm hearing her voice in the wind. Oh my god. Wait, so, sorry, I'm... What? Yeah, what about that? What about... What about all ice? Oh my god. Oh! Oh my god. Dude, what a game. Oh, what was that? I don't remember that.
Are you okay?
Oh, come on. This is nothing.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't look okay.
It was just before the end of elementary school. Jumpy and I were sitting next to each other on a small hill, looking down at the town as the sun slowly set.
How does it look then?
It was half serious and half joking. I thought about it for a minute first.
Well, let's see. It looks like you kissed a toad and got warts, but then they just kept growing and growing and growing.
What does that even mean?
Junpei grinned and...
Ow.
See? I told you you're not okay. You're too reckless. You can't beat 5 8th graders, Jumpy. That's crazy.
What is wrong with him?
Yeah, but I couldn't just stand there. I mean, don't you think so? I had to do something.
Look at the Nevada desert go past. For an SUV, this thing is a pretty smooth ride. Sure was nice of someone to leave it for us outside the building, keys in ignition and gas in the tank. Almost like it was a present, you know? Anyway, we jumped in and now here we are, screaming across the desert. Lotus is over there in the passenger seat. Snake and Seven and I are all squeezed into the back seat here. Still can't believe we let her drive.
Woo! This is so fun! This is so awesome! Driving is so great when there's nothing around, and there's no speed limit.
Girl, I love you!
Hey, Clover, watch those bumps, all right? This car jumps even a little, and I think I'm gonna get crushed to death.
Hey, shut it. I can't help if I'm big, all right? Suck it up.
Why don't you drive, Seven?
I'm a cop. I ain't gonna break the law.
He doesn't have an international license.
Yeah, but you could have sat in the passenger seat.
Oh, hell no. There's no way I'm giving this seat up. And Clover, there's no need to slow down. The car Santa and June are in should be somewhere down this road ahead of us.
Yeah, I saw some fresh tire tracks going out. There's no doubt about it.
Then we've got to hurry if we want to catch them, don't we?
Sure thing.
The gang! Oh, shit. God damn it, she doesn't have to drive so fast. Man, I didn't even think a car like this could go this fast. We're sure throwing up a lot of dust. It was a couple hours after we'd run into the junior high students. They'd been hiding in the bushes on the back of one of the hills, drenching a kitten in gasoline. When we saw what they were doing, Junpei ran up to them, furious.
Hey, what the hell are you doing?
Then he jumped on them. He quickly scooped up the kitten and tossed it to me. I caught it and ran for the police station as fast as I could.
Officer, please, you have to come with me.
Policeman and I headed back to the hill. All we found was Jumpy sprawled on the ground with face covered in big swelling lumps.
You couldn't run away after you threw the kitty to me?
I asked him. He stuck his tongue out through the hole in his mouth where a tooth had fallen out.
Yeah, I guess I could've.
Then why didn't you?
I didn't want to. I wanted to beat him up. Beat him up real good.
Beat him up real good!
Because of what they were doing to the kitty.
Yeah, that too, but I think they were the ones behind those murders our first semester. Remember?
Oh, you mean the bunnies?
Yeah, the bunnies.
He plucked some grass from the ground and tossed it into the wind.
They asked me what elementary school I was from, so I told them. And then they said they'd do the same thing to you that they did to the rabbits. I couldn't forgive them for that, so I...
Hey, there's still some stuff I don't get.
Of course, they probably don't know any more than I do.
Ace. Well, I guess I should say Kentaro Hongo. Why did he create the Nonary project? Anybody? Any ideas?
Why don't you ask him yourself?
Well, yeah, I guess I could.
He's still in the trunk, I assume?
Yeah, he is. Still tied up, I'm assuming, with his mouth taped shut. Good! His eyes just look empty, no emotion. He looks like he's just given up. I wonder if he even cares what happens to him anymore. I don't!
Hey, were you listening to us?
Yeah, go ahead and try to pretend you weren't, you old bastard. Get that tape off your mouth.
Come on, I know you were. Answer me.
You could at least look at me when you talk, man.
I only wanted to see the faces. Human faces. I thought if I could gain the ability to access the morphic field set, then perhaps I could see faces. By peering into people's minds, you could understand how they were processing the expressions of others.
That's it?
Yes, if you want to put it simply. But if you are looking for a more philosophical answer, I could supply that as well. You see, the human collective consciousness...
I think that's enough out of you, pal. See, I miss who I thought he was. And there's moments like that where he gets soft and I'm like, maybe he's not that bad, and then I remember everything and I'm like, oh no, you are terrible and I hate you. But it makes me mourn the man that I wanted him to be. Time for the tape to go back on.
All right, so what's your second question?
You said there were some things you didn't get, didn't you?
Well, somebody's a little
Well,
nosy.
my next question doesn't really have anything to do with you two. This is for you, Seven. It's about the whole Alice thing. What's the deal with that?
Well, See, 9 years ago, after I escaped from the Gigantic, I kept going after Hongo on my own, hoping I'd catch him when he finally slipped up. And during the course of my investigations, I learned a lot more about the Gigantic. I also found out about Gordain and Alice.
You're not really answering my question. Was there actually a girl who wouldn't melt at room temperature?
Sounds like Hongo has something to say. Alright, fine, I'll let you talk, but you gotta behave.
What?
Alice doesn't exist. 9 years ago, I found Alice's coffin behind the library on the bottom deck. There was nothing in it but the root of a peculiar plant. My research determined that it was a member of the genus Mandragora, of the family Solanaceae. I was able to extract a particular alkaloid from it. I used that extract to create soparin. Its creation was a tremendous boon to my firm, and we grew rapidly.
Shit, this is gonna go on forever. Tape's going back on, Hongo. The rest of my questions can wait a bit. For now, I think I'll just enjoy the ride.
Here, this is for you.
What's this?
This is a for you doll. His name is Junpei.
Jumpy pulled something out of his pocket and shoved his arm out toward me. In his hand was a doll made of yarn small enough to fit in his palm.
Are you sure it's, for you doll?
Huh? Yeah, the lady at the shop said so, so that means it's for you, right?
Are you sure it's not a voodoo doll?
Wait, what? That's... Oh, man. Oh, man.
Well, it sure looks like a voodoo doll. I mean, you do know what a voodoo doll is used for, right?
Yeah, I guess calling it Junpei isn't a very good idea then.
Why are you giving me this anyway? It just seems really sudden.
Well, you know how after June, we aren't gonna get to see each other too much? I mean, we're gonna be in different schools, and... I just thought I'd, you know,
I love him.
Oh, okay, well, how about we call it June, then?
Okay. So, I wanted to give you this.
You sound like some sort of tribal chief in a bad movie.
Yes. I, head of tribe. This doll, traditional charm of tribe. So I give this, it me. So we always together.
Oh, Jumpy.
If something bad, then hold and pray. I go wherever you are. So here, take.
I reach my hand out and pick the doll up gently.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Jumpy.
Before I knew it, I was crying. Tears shoot down my face and fell onto June's tiny yarn body.
Jumpy, I'll never forget you. I promise.
Jumpy looked straight into my eyes and said just 5 words.
I'll never forget you either.
The sky was a beautiful crimson red as it melted toward... The sky was a beautiful crimson red as it melted down toward the horizon. The last golden rays of sunlight stretched out across the city and painted themselves across the hills. We sat, bathed in the warm light of evening, just the two of us leaning gently against one another, shoulder to shoulder. The sun set, and we still didn't leave. We watched in silence as the darkness deepened, and one by one, the lights of the town began to flicker on. There's still one thing I don't get. To be honest, it's the biggest mystery as far as I'm concerned, and also the only one that's really important. It has to do with June and Akane. 9 years ago, she died in the incinerator on the Gigantic. But she's still alive now as June. But how? Is it because I tapped into the morphic field set and saved her 9 years ago? Alright, let's say that makes some kind of insane sense. If I did that, then... How do I make sense of what Seven remembers? Snake makes sense. He's blind. He couldn't have seen her body anyway. Seven said he was sure he saw it. Does that mean there's some kind of historical discrepancy? Wait, that's not it at all. There's one other logical explanation. Is what you told me the truth, Seven? I'm satisfied. No. No way. He couldn't.
Hey, look! Over there. There's somebody next to the road.
Huh?
What? Hmm?
The burning gaze of the Nevada sun pounded down on her head. The desert around her rippled with heat. Standing there on that shimmering plain was a woman, her arm out and her thumb up. Not be long before Junpei realized who she was. What?! Oh, okay. I don't know how to process what just happened. What just happened? Okay, I'm trying to process through my thoughts. So much happened right there. I was following along pretty well. It definitely, as I've mentioned before in other series, anything to do with time travel, alternate universes, stuff like that kind of just goes way over my head, but I'm willing to accept it as is. So it seems like June, Akane, sorry, I'm so used to calling her June. So original timeline, everything, she died there. But she didn't die because she essentially saved herself 9 years in the future by setting up this whole game so that Junpei, her connection with Junpei would allow her to get that knowledge from him to be able to save herself. And by saving herself, she was able to get out and set up the thing so that she could help Junpei save her. So she could save herself by having Junpei save her. I think that's basically it. And then all the little scenes, I'm assuming, I have no idea what the voodoo doll had. I mean, well, no, I do know what it had to do with it, because that would be the thing Junpei had to go, or June had to go back to get the present from Junpei. And they named it June, and Clover's name is Clover. I'm gonna kill this game. I'm gonna kill this game. Oh my god. I would do a final character rankings, but I don't think I can, to be honest. Because like 1 is Junpei, 8 is Ace, and everybody else is in there. Cause like cause I would be like, Santa was originally a little bit lower, but the way that, I don't know. I'd still wager saying that like June, Lotus, Clover, I would actually, what I would really do is I would move Snake up, so he's definitely in that group. But I love 7 and Santa basically just as much. So I really don't know. I wish I could tell you. I wish I could even, but like they're all so close that I can't. I love them. Junpei's my favorite though. Junpei guy forever and ever and ever and ever. Oh my god, that was really good. Oh my god. And actually, before I say anything else, I do want to say, people have asked me if I plan on playing Virtue's Last Reward, and the answer is a resounding yes. Absolutely, I want to play Virtue's Last Reward. I don't know if it'll be right away. Deltarune's coming out in like a couple of days in like a week or two at this point. So that might take over the channel for a little bit, but I'll see if I can, other than that, I'll probably start VLR. I'm ready for more Zero Escape. Oh my god, what? Oh, the kids! I'm literally, as soon as I turn the camera off and like get finished from recording, I am probably gonna go over to, I referenced it over there because I have another desk now, and I'm probably gonna draw some things. I'm dying over them. They're so precious and they deserve everything. So Santa, I'm curious what Santa knew. That's confusing me too. It's like, what did Santa know, I guess? Cause like he was helping Zero. Oh no, he did know, cause he was like, oh, this is how you'll save my sister. So I guess June had filled him in. And similar with Junpei, I'm kind of confused on how June was there, June was dead, June wasn't. I feel like I still have so many questions and so many things to think through, because I still like how I cannot remember their names for the life of me. They're just not important enough for me to remember, I guess. But how in the world how did the bracelet thing work with Ace and whatever the heck, the 9th man? Like how did that work? I still don't know. But overall, I had such a great time. Schrodinger's girl. I was explaining to my friend V, who has been with me through this entire series and has pushed me to play this game. Every time I have referred to my friend in this series, it has been V. I said, I feel like I get the concept of June using her connection with Junpei to save herself from 9 years ago, which allowed her to set up the whole thing so that Junpei could be in the position to save the her of 9 years ago. I don't get how she was alive and dead at the same time, but like, Junpei didn't either, so thumbs up, I guess. And I got back Schrodinger's girl. Which, yeah, I think describes it pretty well. Overall, I'm gonna be doing a lot of thinking about this game. I am very over it. Wow, what a game. Oh my god, I teared up so many times. Didn't fully cry, but I teared up plenty of times. And oh, that hurts, and I need to make art, and I'm losing my mind. Thumbs up. Yeah, I hope to be discussing with you guys in the comments of this video. I cannot believe it's over. It doesn't feel real. I'm not gonna think about that for too long or I'll cry. I'm gonna go. But I hope to be in the comments discussing things with you guys. I know I've not been as on top of comments recently. If you really would like to talk to me, I will be in the Discord. I will be talking there. I hope I can go invade. I'm gonna go double check, make sure I can invade the spoilers channel now and get to talk with people there. The Discord's in the description if I didn't say that already. I don't want it, I'm sitting here talking about nonsense because I don't want it to end. But Snake and Clover and all the children and seeing them so tiny. I need to draw the tiny them so bad. I'm gonna lose my mind and I need to stop because I'm just talking because I don't want it to end. So without further ado, I'm gonna go. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for coming with me on this journey. Thank you for all the support you've given the series. Everybody who found my channel through the series. Thank you guys so much. I've loved seeing your comments, reading your comments, responding to the few that I've had the chance to. It means the absolute world to me. This was an absolute blast. I'm so sad it's over. So yeah, without further ado, I'm gonna go. Thank you guys so much for watching and I will see you all next time. Bye. Okay, I was told to go into an escape room on novel mode. And I was told I didn't have to record it, but I am recording it just in case. Because I don't know what this is. Here? Oh my god. That's insane! Oh my god. Anyways, wow. Yep. I love this game. Bye.